It's like we define addiction based on, are you doing a thing that's affecting all the other things you're doing? But that's not where addiction begins. That's what I'm trying to say is like that's already addiction in sort of emotion. That's that's sort of the symptom of like you're doing a thing over and over and it's affecting the rest of your life. But addiction happened before it. Like the hook happened way before that.
Yeah, it's usually like to change some kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To escape a feeling. So it was a lot of childhood trauma, and that's not an excuse. I know people, because I've interviewed people that have went through similar things and didn't go down the route of taking drugs, and I don't know how that happens, like how some people are more resilient than others, or if it's how people are brought up that they're more emotionally intelligent and can deal with stuff better. But for me it was trying to escape childhood trauma and then using that as an excuse for why I used for years, and blaming, being in a mind state of blaming everything, blaming things for why I used.
So the thing, this is quite interesting because that resonates with me because so I grew up with a single dad from the age of 8. There was a tragedy that happened with my mum. I don't really talk about it out of respect for what happened because of her privacy. But for the longest time, I felt like I couldn't fit in. I felt like I wasn't enough, things like that. And if I would get in trouble, if I fucked up, I would always be like, well, I'm just fucked up because of my mum. What happened to my mum? So I would there was a lot of theories, especially when you're like in school, of like in this basic psychology theories of like, oh, your first 7 years define the rest of your life. When you're finding a girlfriend, you're just trying to find your mom. All this like high school level psychology shit, which tries to excuse and blame everything to what happened in those first 7 years. And it's very convenient and it makes sense. But like at some point I had to be like, no, I am who I am. Like, maybe I used to say, you know, I would get in trouble because I would make dark jokes and some people wouldn't like it. I would feel bad for offending them. I'd be like, well, I'm just fucked up. That's who I am. And at some point I had to be like, no, it's what I like. I like these fucked up jokes. Stop blaming.
It's how you can heal for stuff, is having a laugh about it.
Well, that too, but I genuinely like them. Like, why am I always... It's always like every time I blame my present issues on my trauma, I'm always keeping the trauma alive as well, because I'm not letting go of it. I'm like, well, it's still active in me. And it's a weird thing where you're like you keeping the thing that's fucking you up, you bringing it with you, while also like blaming your present issues on that one thing.
And that's the cycle I get in, because psychologists and all that would let you blame that kind of stuff and then give you medication to deal with, and then the medication kind of made you feel better about it, so then you took more of that, and it just became that vicious circle of taking something, for blaming that and then taking something to escape the pain of that. If that makes sense.
It's like it's a weird fucking mental prison.